Coffee is my best friend. Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Excuse my funky voice. I am sick, but I really wanted to film this video sooner than later because I bought a bunch of books and I wanted to share those with you. So I bought 11 books. I have a little bit of everything to share with you. I have some romance, I have one literary fiction, I have some thriller mysteries, and I also have some horror because I thought I would kind of maybe push myself out of my comfort zone and not only just read thrillers, which I absolutely love, but I also want to be scared. I also want to be scared shitless, to be honest with you. I really want to be frightened for some reason. And what better way to do that than to read a horror book? Let's start off with the nice fluffy romances, moving on to the literary fiction, and then we're gonna move on to thriller and mystery, and then we're gonna save the horror for last. So the first book I wanna share with you is The Nanny by Lana Ferguson, and this one just came out last month. In April, we're in May. All I know about this is that she becomes a single dad's nanny. Sparks fly from there. Also, the reason why I got this book is that people were complaining that it was overly steamy, and I'm up for the steaminess. I love steamy books. There's also a little blurb here by Ruby Nixon. It says, "This book is like if Allie Hazelwood and Tessa Bailey had a spicy baby. I devoured every page and was sad to see it end." I think this is gonna be a fun time. I can't wait to read it. And it just feels so good, like flipping through the pages. A woman discovers the father of the child she is nannying may be her biggest only fan. I can't wait to read this. I'm excited. I know it's going to be a fun time and I want to get to this one sooner than later. Next up, I have Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez, and this one is actually part of a series. Last year I read Part of Your World. I believe I gave that book a 5. I love Abby Jimenez's writing. I love the storyline, and this follows one of the other characters presented in that story. And it says, a novel of terrible first impressions, hilarious second chances, and the joy of finding your perfect match. The story follows 2 doctors, and there's some things mentioned in there that the characters are struggling through. I don't want to read much into it. I just want to go in a little blindly because, again, I really enjoyed Part of Your World, and I really enjoy Abby Jimenez's writing. So I know that I'm in good hands, and I can't wait to read this. Next up, this would be my only literary fiction novel that I'll be reading eventually, and this one's called The Half Moon by Mary Beth Gann. I think that's how you say her name. I'm gonna be honest with you, this cover does nothing for me. If I didn't read the little blurb about it, I probably wouldn't have picked this book up. Yes, I know, don't judge a book by its cover, but sometimes I can't help it, guys. Sometimes covers just sell me. I do know that this book is about a turmoil marriage, a marriage on the rocks, and that's basically all I know about it. I know that it's also mentioned that it's going to be a little bit heartbreaking or sad, and when I'm feeling in the mood to reading something a little more serious, a little sad, that's just going to yank at my heart, I think this will do the trick. A couple in a small town who must navigate the complexities of marriage, family, and longing. That is all I need to know going into this book. Again, I don't want to read much into this. I just want to feel everything that this book gives me. Now we're going to move on to thriller and mysteries. And the first thriller book that I want to talk to you guys about, that I'm so excited to read because I've heard nothing but great things, and I feel like I'm late in the game. I haven't read this sooner than later, and that would be The Kind Worth Killing by Peter Swanson. I've heard nothing but great things about this author and this book. I know there's also a sequel maybe, or it's part of a series, and the other book came out last month, I believe. I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. Let's talk about this cover. Look how beautiful it is. Like, I wasn't expecting the letters to be like 3D like this, and the background of matte, and then there's some glossiness around. I love this cover so much. I can't wait to read it. And also, it just feels so nice in your hands. Like, it just feels nice flipping through the pages. The words are pretty big, which I like. I love it when you get multiple characters' points of views. I just love that aspect of a thriller. If you didn't know what the story is about, let me just read you the back of it just to give you a little insight. There's no such thing as a perfect stranger. With his flight delayed, Ted Severson meets Lily, a magnetic stranger, in an airport bar. After too many martinis, he confesses his darkest secret about his wife's infidelity and how he wishes her dead. Without missing a beat, Lily offers to help him carry out the task. I mean, come on, you guys. This is gonna be a fun ride. It says gripping, elegantly and stylishly written, and extremely hard to put down. A work of lovely violence and graceful male violence. It slips into your life like a stiletto in your ribs. Oh my gosh. Gone Girl on speed. Oh, I definitely want to read that, you guys, because Gone Girl, I saw the movie. I haven't read the book yet. I saw the movie. It is absolutely one of my favorite thriller movies. Like, again, something along the lines of a turmoil marriage or a marriage on the rocks. This trope, to me, if it's even a trope, definitely intrigues me. So I'm so excited to read this. I'm probably gonna get this sooner than later, honestly. I say that about every book, but this one might be my next read. I just can't wait. Next up, we have The Push by Ashley Audrain. Now, I took a while to pick this book up because it just, I have kids, and I mean, I don't take the books I read seriously, but also some of these things are hard to read. I do know that this book is about a woman, a married couple, and they decide to have kids. The wife, Blythe, I think her name is Blythe, she didn't want to have kids, but her husband convinced her to have kids anyways. So she ends up having a little girl, and for some reason, she doesn't feel any connection with this little girl. It's almost like they don't like each other, and she feels constantly that this little girl is trying to constantly kill her. And then fast forward a little longer, they do have a second child, and it happens to be a boy, and right off the bat, her and her son are connected to each other. They love each other. They have this bond, this very strong bond. And then things happen from there, and I'm just so excited to read this. I didn't realize how short of a book it would be. It's just so pretty with the metallic-y and the purple and the blues. I can't wait to read this. The next book I have on my list is The Last Word by Taylor Adams. I mean, come on. As soon as this came out last month, I definitely had to pick it up. I love Taylor Adams. I've only read one book, which is No Exit. Absolutely love that book to my core. It was amazing. It was great. It was just so good. Now I can't wait to pick this one up. It's about this woman, maybe happens to live remotely in the middle of nowhere, it looks like. She writes a really bad review. You see her communicating with the author of this book, and things start getting unhinged. The author becomes maybe a little psycho because he doesn't like the fact that she wrote this 1-star review on him. And so the story goes on from there. This sounds wild. This sounds like a person's nightmare, and I just can't wait to read it. My last thriller mystery book is your classic, or at least I consider it a classic, Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. First of all, I am mostly a paperback girl, but I feel like my thrillers sometimes feel better when they are hardback, and this one is so beautiful. I just love the glossiness. I love the feel of it. I just love how thick it is. I just love everything about it. Obviously, like I said, I did watch the movie. I enjoyed the movie, but I didn't read the book. It was during my non-reading era in my life. So I can't wait to get to this because I know the book is going to be 10 times better, especially if I enjoyed the movie. And again, another turmoil marriage. And if you guys didn't know what Gone Girl is about, it's about a married couple, and one day his wife goes missing, and the whole book is about him trying to find his wife. I just can't say much because I don't want to give anything away, but yeah, the wife goes missing. The husband gets desperate to find her. I'm pretty sure the cops question the husband because he's the first suspect. Can't wait to read it. I'm so excited. Okay, so now let's move on to horror. Some of these books are gruesome, some of them are disturbing, some of them are implied reality horrors, but I know nonetheless I'm going to be frightened with all of them. The first one I want to talk about, and I'm a big fan of slasher movies. I love horror movies, I love slasher movies. So the first one I want to talk about is Camp Slaughter by Sergio Gomez. I know there's a sequel to this. I can't wait to read that, but this one obviously is a slasher. I don't know, I picked this up because I've heard nothing but great things, especially if you like slasher horror movies or slasher movies. I know this is going to be super gruesome, so reading it, I don't know, guys. It's gonna be a wild ride for me. This deep in the woods, danger can be lurking anywhere. I'm pretty sure it's about a group of kids who go to this cabin on vacation or something like that. Yep, they go to this cabin and then they get slaughtered by this psychopath. So that's all I need to know going into it. It is also a short book. I don't want to read too much into it. Yeah, it's like 270 pages of slash. 270 pages of slaughter. I don't know, but I'm excited to read it. I can't wait. Next up, I heard this book is so scary, and it was adapted into a series, I think. It was adapted into a movie, and that's No One Gets Out Alive by Adam Neville. Now, I hate to say this, but I am a little bit of a brat sometimes when it comes to covers, and I really wanted the original cover, but for some reason it wasn't available to me. So I feel like this is like the Netflix series cover. Also, the sticker is permanently on there, which is annoying too, but that's okay. That's okay. This book feels really, really good. It's like floppy, great. And I believe this book is about a girl who moves in. She rents out a room in this house in a cheap neighborhood because that's all she can afford. Paranormal things start happening. She starts hearing things at night, maybe seeing things. She feels things at night, hears things. Like, that's creepy. A lot of atmospheric creepy vibes, and I'm for that. And so this was described as very scary. So I don't know if I'm gonna read this at night because I am a scaredy cat, but I will definitely want to read this regardless. I can't wait to be scared. The next book I want to talk about is Old Country by Matt Corey and Harrison Corey. And this one is also paranormal stuff. It also has a lot of maybe demon rituals, I heard. And it's about this married couple who decide to move remotely and live on the countryside and be country people. However, the little barn that they move into is haunted. And so a lot of weird things start happening. I heard this book is really frightening and really scary. And the things that these characters go through are just crazy. It also looks like it's dual POV, which I really love, again, in horror books. So I can't wait to read this book. I'm really excited. And the last book I want to talk about is Mary by Nat Cassidy. Now, this is a different kind of horror. I believe this is about a woman who is going through menopause, if I'm not mistaken. I've heard that this book is written so beautifully and so grotesque, like grotesquely detailed, if that makes any sense, that I just can't wait to read. So it says here, Mary is a quiet, middle-aged woman doing her best to blend into the background, unremarkable, invisible, unknown even to herself. But lately things have been changing inside Mary. Along with the hot flashes and the body aches, she can't look in the mirror without passing out, and the voices in her head have been urging her to do unspeakable things. Fired from her job in New York, she moves back to her hometown, hoping to reconnect with her past and inner self. Instead, visions of terrifying, mutilated specters overwhelm her with increasing regularity, and she begins auto-writing strange thoughts and phrases. Mary discovers that these experiences are echoes of an infamous serial killer. Then the killings begin again. Mary's definitely going to find herself. Okay, so I feel like this is, again, a take on the reality of horror, like a reality horror, meaning she's going through menopause. She's probably not trusting what she remembers, losing herself during her age. And so that is very scary. That is like a different type of level of horror to me, because it is reality, you know? We are all eventually going to get older at some point, and to have no control over yourself and to lose yourself is just so frightening. Anyways, again, like, I heard this was beautifully written. Again, it feels really nice. This copy is the matte copy. I've seen the glossy version of it, but I can't wait to read this. And it also says genuinely scary and at times both heartfelt and heartbreaking. Oh, so I'm probably gonna feel so much for this character. Again, guys, I can't wait to read it. Okay, guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know if you've read any of these books, if any of these books interest you, or your thoughts on them. I would love to hear them. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye!